Well, I'm Roger Cossack. I'm the ESPN legal analyst, and as such, am interested in all forms of sports and sports litigation, and that's partially how I came to be familiar with the concussion problem.
All right, and you mentioned during the panel what your opinions were about the litigation, and you really believe that if they can get to the point where proving fraud is an issue, that they have a really strong case. If you could just discuss those opinions about the litigation and proving fraud.
Well, the allegations are twofold. One is, on behalf of the plaintiffs, that the NFL was negligent in their duty of care to the players. And of course, the NFL responds by saying there's a collective bargaining agreement. I think that issue is going to be a difficult one for the plaintiffs, because I think the collective bargaining agreement is one that covers what the duty is, and that it's unclear as an employer what the duty was of the National Football League. So I think that's a questionable allegation on behalf of the plaintiffs. I think the fraud allegation may be stronger, because it seems from what we heard from other panelists and such that the NFL had information that regarding concussions and regarding the effect of concussions and the number of concussions and how dangerous they were, and knew that there was a problem, and they didn't disclose that. If the plaintiffs are successful and are able to get past the motion to dismiss, I think that claim may turn out to be the one that is more fruitful for them.
Also, on the panel, you guys were discussing, and you guys seem to be in agreement that the NFL really isn't going to go anywhere, and regardless of the outcome of the litigation, from a monetary perspective, the NFL is going to be okay. And you guys talked about how, over the past few years, they made changes to kickoffs and implementing spearing rules and substantial penalties. What do you think to the effects of the game, or to how the league handles concussions, that the litigation could possibly have an effect on?
Well, football is what football is. One of the things I said on the panel is, who didn't know football was violent, and who didn't know particularly professional football was violent. So if you're going to have football, you're going to have concussions, and you're going to have people who have bad knees and bad arms and hips, and are cripples, and as they get older, are crippled as they get older. All of those kinds of things are going to occur. So what you're really talking about is not whether you can eliminate them, but whether or not you can prevent some of the injuries from being as serious as they are. So I think, if anything, what the litigation is going to do is two different things. One is it's going to put the National Football League on notice, which it already has, as to protecting the players to the best they possibly can, and if that includes better medical attention, better decisions on when players can come back and play, all of those things are beneficial. The other part of it is that I think that that perhaps the rules will be strengthened within football itself, in which it'll be more discouraging for football players to do the late hits or the spearing or those kinds of things.
And now we're going to switch our focus to the board of directors.
Okay.
What were some of the reasons that you agreed to be a member of the board of advisors?
Well, there's obviously Andrew had a lot to do with it. Andrew and I are colleagues at ESPN. We are the sort of outside the sports guys. Andrew does business. I do the legal analysis, and so we are colleagues in that respect. I also am a member of the faculty at Pepperdine Law School, and so I felt that the opportunity to be on the board here at Villanova was something that I wished to go forward with from an educational process, as well as not just learning, but the opportunity to make new friends and serve new purposes.
What are some of the things that you wish that the Moorad Center can accomplish going forward?
Well, I would hope nothing but success for the Moorad Center. The notion of sports and law is something that obviously is quite dear to me. The idea that ESPN has a legal analyst many years ago was a strange thought, but the realization is that sports is as much a part of American culture as perhaps even more so than almost anything else. So the notion that a law school is studying those things which make up the interest to the American population, which is a strong economic growth industry, is not so strange. And so I would want to be part of that and from an educational process learn from it.
And finally, if you can just talk about how Mr. Brandt and a lot of the board advisors have a lot of practical experience, but not so much academia. If you can just talk about how you really think that is going to benefit the center.
Well, academia is set up for research, and this is what research should be. You know, what we should do as legal scholars is to conduct research, investigate, and then produce our results so that the policymakers and the public can respond to what we find out. And so, if in fact the Moorad Center does that, which I'm sure we will. And students produce good work, which has already been done, then we will be fulfilling our mission.